It's been a while, been a while, been a while since I've seen your...
What up, YouTube? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Sherry. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it so much. I hope everything is going well for you, and I hope everything is wonderful in your world. Well guys, today I kind of wanted to do a teaching video because I haven't done that in a long time, and I kind of want to concentrate on brushes and which ones I use and how I use them. And it's most generally understood that whenever we film a video and do a look and edit a video, that we cut out a lot of what we do. And it kind of occurred to me that maybe showing all of what we do would help somebody recreate a look, or at least know the process, so that when they're doing their own makeup, they can be doing the same things to get the same result. So today I just want to talk to you through an eye look and show you what brushes I use and tell you how I use them and why I use them, and basically my process of doing an eye look from beginning to end. And hopefully that will be helpful for somebody, useful for somebody. Before I get started, I did want to say that we are still in the middle of some shelter-in-place type situations and isolation and quarantine type situations. I am officially in quarantine due to potentially being exposed, and so my husband is currently in the hospital. I am spending a lot of time cleaning and sanitizing my home, trying to keep my own health in check and try to keep fear and anxiety in check. And so makeup is always therapeutic for me. Makeup is always kind of a comfort to me, and so that's why I'm here today doing this, and I'm hoping that maybe it will be a bright spot and an escape from everything that's going on right now, because it is really scary. And I hope that everybody is very safe and healthy and following all the guidelines that have been given to us. I am being very careful. I'm actually starting to be lonely, which is a weird thing for me because I'm used to being around so many people on a daily basis, and it kind of almost feels like there's not a world out there and it's just me now. It's really a very strange feeling, so I'm sure there are other people that can relate to that. But let's get on to the video. Let me teach you how to do an eye look, at least in Sherry style, and show you what brushes I use and show you the entire process, including all the blending that takes place that I usually cut out to kind of make the length of the video not so long. I hope this will not be a long video, but there's potential for it. I am also waiting. We are 99% sure that my husband is negative, but they will not release him from the hospital until we have a negative result sent back to us by the state. Therefore, I can't leave the house and he can't come home. And so this has been extremely difficult because we've been separated through this as well. So he's in Oklahoma City, I'm at home in Perkins, and so if my phone rings while I am filming this, I might just skip out in the middle of it. You just never know. Anyways, let's get into the video. Today I'm going to be using one of the palettes that I got as a BoxyCharm add-on that came early, and this is by Zoeva, and this is the Cocoa Blend palette. I did pick up several of these because I was very curious about Zoeva, and I just think they're very beautiful palettes. They're very neutral, but there are some cute colors, some pretty colors in each one. But today I'm just feeling warm browns, just brown and golds and champagnes. Like that is why I chose this Cocoa Blend, because that's what's in here. Ordinarily I would be drawn to that color and that color, but I'm going to avoid those today. Okay, just as a precursor, I wanted to show you guys that I kind of go in order from... Aside from using a flat shader brush, kind of a wide flat shader brush, aside from this that I use to go underneath my brow bone, I do go from large to small in the process of my brushes. So as you see, this is the beginning, very fluffy brush, then a more tapered, more narrow fluffy brush, and then a kind of flatter but still tapered, smaller than that fluffy brush, and then a very small more precise fluffy brush, and then a flat shader, almost like a concealer brush. And if you notice, I go from largest to smallest, and that's kind of how I do it. I do transition, crease, outer corner and crease, like the very extreme outer crease, and then the lid color. I will sometimes use a flat shader. Just, it varies from lots of different brushes that I use for my inner corner, just whatever is available that works. But I'll talk to you about that when I get there. But I did want to kind of show you that I go from large to small. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that you noticed is that as I go through each color and as I use each brush, when I get to the next color, I blend it with the previous brush. And that's what gives you that seamless transition. That's what gives you the seamless blend, is using the previous brush to blend out the current color and just keep on going down the row. And so you'll see, and I'll explain it as I go. I am one that likes to take a bone colored or vanilla cream colored matte shade to clean up underneath my brow bone and brighten my brow bone area. And then if I do want to use any shimmer, I'll just go over that later. But I use a very wide flat shader to do that. And I just use that to go up under my brow bone. I do like a sharp eyebrow, but I do not like it to be super sharp where it looks harsh. And so going up underneath, and then I go and I just kind of pull down. It helps whenever I start to go in with my transition.
Been a while since I've known what to say.
Okay, and then I'm finished with this brush, so I just set it aside. I do sometimes keep my brushes all in my hand, or I just put them in front of me in the order that I use them so that I know I can go back to the next one. This is such a natural process for me because I've done it so many times that for me, I know exactly what brush to pick up. But if you're new to this and you want to try this, I would put them in the order that you're using them. I'm next going to find a transition, which is usually a lighter color, like this nice warm brown. And this is called Substitute for Love. These are interesting names. But I use a very, very fluffy brush to do my transition. And this is a BH Cosmetics blender. I have like 5 of these and I've had them for years. They've been washed hundreds of times, but they're wonderful. And I love that for a transition. I use this for a transition almost every time. So I do go in and I tap off the excess. Because I have hooded eyes, I go above my actual crease with the transition. I go right in that socket, right where the shadow is, right there. That is where I go in with my shadow. And I do like hold my brush upward so that I'm getting right along my actual orbital bone. I start on the outer corner because where you first put your brush down is where you're going to get the most color, and then I diffuse it in. I also go around in circles right here on the outer edge.
Getting nervous for getting words and I speak in circles, trying to keep myself from saying, remember last year, messing around, we were so loud, and they'll try to kick us out.
After I get as much color as I want, I keep another brush that's clean, just another fluffy brush. This is a Sigma E40, and then I'll just go around the edge with this. I keep this and I blend several times with this. And I just go around the edge just to make sure it's nice and smooth and kind of diffuse that outer area. And then once I just keep going back in until I feel good with the amount of color that I have. And once I smooth everything out, sometimes I'll have to go back in, like right here. I feel like I need some more color, so I'm going to go back in and I'm just going to bounce it right here. And get that color going.
I could never really lie to you, so I'm trying not to hide the truth, though.
I like to look in a mirror from further away because my mirror that I do the makeup in is magnified. So I like to look into another mirror just to see it from a distance, just to get a different perspective. And sometimes you'll see me blending because I see that the color is really concentrated right there, and I want to smooth it out. Once I feel like I have the color where I want it and the intensity I want it, I do the other eye. And I'm just now realizing that I have not zoomed in. And I really intend on showing you what I'm doing on one eye and doing the other eye through fast forward without, so obviously I've already messed it up. So I will show you and explain to you on the other eye with the transition close up, and then from that point on I'll be showing you on this eye what I'm doing. Exaggerated eye roll. Welcome to my face. But this is what we've got so far. Again, I'm going to take the mid-tone or the lighter warm brown with the big fluffy BH Cosmetics blender. I'm going to start on the outer edge where I want the deepest color, and I'm going to go upward in windshield wiper motions as well as circular motions, and then go into circular right here at the edge where I kind of pull out. And I keep deepening it until I feel like I have the color payoff that I want. I do, since I have hooded eyes, I'll look straight ahead into a mirror, straight ahead into it, to make sure I can see quite a bit of the transition color above whenever my eyes are open. I don't always go all the way into my inner corner, but I do kind of try to fade it in. I look into the mirror, make sure it's even. And just keep adding until I have what I want and it looks the same on both sides, or similar at least.
I've been scheming, I hoped you'd be here, I hate that.
And then go in with the brush that doesn't have anything on it, just to make sure the edges are nice and diffused out. Alright, from this point on, I'm going to do this eye and explain to you what I'm doing, and then I'll do this eye on fast forward. Let's see if I can remember that. The next thing I do is take that same color and use my very small brush. I'm a back and forth person. I like to put what I put up top, and then I like to put that same color on the bottom. So I'm going to use the Morphe M507. And I'm just gonna, I really like a very smoked out lower lash line these days. And so I start off, this is almost like my transition for my lower lash line. And so I'm going out of order with the brushes, but this is what I like to use. And it really diffuses it out and smokes it out on the bottom. And then I'll show you later what I do to continue to match up on the bottom what I'm doing on the top. I am very OCD, I am very methodical, even though it probably doesn't make sense to anybody else. It makes sense to me. Alright, so, recap. Brow bone, transition color, and I've used my very small brush as a transition for my lower lash line. I'm now going to go into a mid-tone color, which the only real mid-tone color is this reddish one, which I do like to go in with a deeper warm color right in my crease. This color is called Freshly Toasted. So I put it on the very tip of the brush, tap it off, and I don't always tap off if I know the shadows, but this is my first time using Zoeva, so I don't know what I'm gonna get. But I like to like actually push in and tuck it right into my crease. That's why I like this brush, because it's tapered. It's kind of got a little point on the end, and if I keep the shadow right on the end, I can go directly into my crease with it, and I really push in to my, like right above my eyeball, right in the socket. and I just go right into my crease with that. I will pull it up into above the crease so that you can see it a little bit better once I have the amount of color placed that I want.
I love you. Ooh, ignore the history. I know you miss me. I hate to love me too.
Now I'll put that brush down and take the previous brush without any more product on it, and I will blend out what I just put down. And I like to kind of go in circular motions because it kind of pulls that color up a little bit and it blends it into the transition color. A lot of eye looks are add and blend, and blending kind of takes away some of the intensity, and so you go back and add more and then blend more, add more and then blend more. And it's kind of a back and forth kind of thing, and I don't think we often show all the back and forths that we do. And so sometimes people think, well gosh, I'm doing exactly what that person, you know, is showing me on the tutorial, but mine doesn't look like that. Well, I think a lot of times it's because we cut out a lot of the blending that we do, and it does take a lot of time if you really want a seamless blend. And I love the way that looks. The only place I feel like I need some more color is, and there's something about this area of my eye that does not like to take color, and I do not know why. And so a lot of times I have to go back in, and sometimes with a smaller brush, and stamp right there to get a little bit more intensity right there. And then I'll go back and go around in circles and blend that out. But I feel really good about what I've got there, so I'm going to do the other eye.
Yeah, hate that I love you. I'm taking time, taking me too much damn time, trying to find the reason why I shouldn't dive back in.
Next, I take a brush like this. It's a little, it's small, but it's not as fluffy as the other one, to take that same color and put it on my lower lash line. A little bit closer than I did with the other one. I do want it to be down a little bit because I'm going to put an even darker color down here. But I do want it closer to the lash line than the transition that I put down there. Or closer to the lash line. And I only go about 2/3 of the way across usually, to kind of leave this part of my eye open. And then I go back with the little one that I did the lower lash line transition with and blend that out. So kind of what I'm doing to the top, I'm also doing to the bottom, and blending in between each step.
To your life, 'cause I'm a little selfish and you're so jealous and you embellish.
All right, next I am going to take these two brushes, the one that I've already used for the lower lash line, and this is a Delium Tools 776, and again the Morphe M507. And it really depends on how smoky I want it to be. I'm going to take the darkest color, which is, and this is really to deepen out my outer V, and this is called Beans Are White. Okay, this one right here, which is the darkest color. I think what I'm going to do is start with the smaller brush and put it on the extreme outer corner, and then if it's not smoky enough, I'll go in with this. If I'm using a lighter color, not one that's so dark as that, or dark brown or black, I'll usually use something like this. But just to be careful, I'm going to go into my color switch and clean this off. And then I'm going to go into Beans Are White, and I'm going to go very lightly, and I'm going to tap off to make sure and just see how we're doing with pigmentation on this. So far the pigment's been great. But anyways, I just kind of bounce it on this outer corner, and I just go right into that outer V. And I do go up above my crease, because if I don't, it won't show at all whenever my eyes are open. And so I'm always kind of going back and forth between putting it on like this and looking at myself straight on, so that I can make sure that the color is going to show. On this, since I'm going to cut the crease, I like to pull it about 1/3 of the way in, and I tuck it right into my crease and go all the way in with it. Because I'm going to cut my crease, I like to go around my eye socket with a darker color so that you can really see where the crease is cut. So I feel like I want to add a little bit more here. And a lot of times I'll start with this little bitty brush and get the color where I want it, and then on the outer corner use like the Deli M tools, and it's also like a Sigma E25. It's like a Morphe M443, I think, no, M433. And then I'll very lightly dip in and get about like barely any on my brush like that, and then I'll go in and kind of fill in where it's a little patchy, which dark colors are almost a little patchy, and just really smoke this area out by just going around in circles right here. And I'll just go in and then look up and make sure you can see that darker color. And it's just exactly how I like it. And then I take the previous brush that had the previous color on it and use that to blend. And as you can see, it's just going from the previous brush and the previous color and using that to blend, it just beautifully gives you a seamless blend. And going around in circles and just meshing all those colors together, it looks like they were meant to be. And a lot of times when you're in the middle of an eye look, it looks really crazy for probably the first 2/3 of the time you're working with it, and then towards the end it just all comes together. And so don't give up midway, because sometimes it looks really crazy all the way up. And now I'm going to go back with the previous brush. Sometimes I'll just go through with all the brushes and just make sure everything is nice and blended. And once I've got it like I want it, I mean, I will literally just go from brush to brush to brush. And once I've got it how I like it, then I leave it alone. Like, I think I have enough darkness, enough deepness in my crease. Yep, exactly how I want it. And so I'm going to leave it as it is. Actually, there's one little part that looks kind of patchy because I didn't really build the color up there. So I'm going to do that real quick. And knowing that I'm going to cut my crease, I don't always worry about this inner area much. But that looks good to me now. It was just a little patchy, but a lot of that's going to be covered up with the concealer or the eye base. All right. I like the way that looks, so I will go through and do it one more again.
Keep me honest, to be honest, we were flawless. And if we wanted, we'd pick it up from where we started. I can never really lie to you, so I'm trying not to hide the truth. Oh, I've been dreaming, oh, I've been scheming. I hoped you'd be here. I hate that I love you. Ooh, ignore the history. I know you miss me. I hate to love me too. Ooh. Yeah, I hate that I love you. Ooh, ignore the history. I know you miss me. I hate to love me too.
All right, now I'm going to go ahead and use the color switch with this one again so that it doesn't have the dark color on it. And I'm going to go in with a tiny little brush on my lower lash line, which is an E36 by Morphe. And it's just a tiny little precise brush. And I like to use this one to use a dark color underneath my lash line and go right up next to my lash line. So that's what I'm using this for right now. I'm going to go right up next to it with the dark color, because it's really going to define my lower lash line. And since I already have all those other colors there for transition, it'll be easy to blend out.
Yeah, hate that I love you. I've been dreaming, I've been scheming. I hoped you'd be here. I hate that I love you.
Now the reason I got the color off of this one is because I'm doing the lower lash line, I'm going to go into the previous color with this brush to blend out the darker color. And I just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until I feel like that's really nice and blown out. You can do tiny little circles too. You'll make crazy faces, but you can do little circles under there too.
You know the history. I know you miss me. I hate to love me too.
And you can leave it at that, but I like to just continue on, clean this brush off again, go into the very first color, and go right underneath. And it really does pull it down far, but the last color is so light that it really doesn't show up much. It just kind of diffuses the edges out and just makes a color gradient. I especially like to pull my lower lash line down really far whenever I am doing a cut crease, and also whenever I'm going to be wearing lashes, because it kind of balances out the bottom. But this is what we have. We have 3 colors and they're all very well blended and diffused. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease. I'm going to use my P. Louise base to do that, and I am going to set it with this cream color, which is called, again, I can't ever see it, Bitter Start. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to fast forward through all of that because this really isn't about the cut crease, but I do want to show you. I'll show you one eye, and then we'll go from there.
I know you miss me, hate to love me too. Yeah, I hate that I love you. The minute you walked into the room, I couldn't help but smile at you. Noticing things I never did before. Kept it to myself cause I wasn't sure how you could make me feel the way you do. Used to come a little closer, wanna know what your lips feel like. And the party's almost over, hope I'm leaving with you.
Alright, I am now cut. What I like to do with the cut crease is start off with the darkest shimmer, which is this one, but since I already have such a dark color out there, I'm going to leave that like it is. I'm going to go in with my finger to this one, which is called Subtle Blend. Hey! And I'm going to put it right on the edge with my finger. This is going to overlap the dark outer color and the cut crease. I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Don't mind my nails. I have been doing some majorly cleaning and I don't feel like doing them again to mess them up again. Alright, now I'm going to take one of the flat shaders that I showed you, the flat pointed shaders that I showed you at the beginning. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to go into that color again and just make sure it gets everywhere. Right up to the cut line. Next I'm going to go into Pure Ganache, which is right here, which is a middle color. And I'm going to put that on the majority of my lid. I'm going to use my pointer finger and I'm going to overlap the first one just a little bit. That's beautiful. And I'm not going to mess with the top line because I'll go in with the brush But I'm going to go almost all the way in with that one, and I'm going to tap over the line where the two meet to blend those together.
Tonight, oh, something's different, and I can't rest.
Then I'm going to take the other side of that brush and go in there and go right up to the cut line and just make sure that's all filled in. I do that because putting it on with the finger gives the prettier shimmer. Now I go back and forth between the line of those two shimmers just to make sure there's no harsh line in between those two, and I just go back and forth with both sides with both colors. Back and forth. Alright, now I am going to go in with, let's see, I'm just going to clean off my ring finger or my pointer finger and go into the lightest one, and that's going to go on the very inner corner and the tear duct area, but I'll do that with a brush. It's hard to get in there, so I try to put it right on the tip of my finger.
Recognize myself. You turn me upside down. Can't wrap my...
Then I'm going to find a tiny little brush like this one right here, and I'm going to go in and make sure that's filled in all the way up to the cut line, and then go into the tear duct area with it.
Around the way that these hands reach out for you like no one else. I don't know what you're doing to me.
Now, with this brush, I'm going to go on one side with the lightest color, one side with the previous lightest color, and I'm going to go back and forth, patting between these two, and kind of zigzag back and forth between those two to make sure those two are blended and there's not like a harsh line there. Now I feel like I need to go back with my little brush. As you can see, we're doing so many back and forths. So go back with my little brush just to clean up that line. Is always so helpful to really define that cut crease line and make sure that that shows. Alright, let me see what I got. Ooh, I'm really happy with that. The only thing that I really want to do is go on the outside here with my brush that doesn't have any product on it and just make sure this outer edge is really blended, and then maybe go back in with that dark color one more time on my Delium tools and just make sure that this is seamless right here. All right, let me take a good look. Wow, I like it. It's really smoky and very bronzy and gold, and I really love it. That's exactly what I was looking for. Wow. The only thing is I feel this is a little bit harsh. So I'm going to grab this brush and I'm going to go in between these two, like transitional colors, and tap that off and just kind of go around that area and try to kind of soften that a little bit. So as you can see, there's a lot of just, you know, fine tuning and instinctually knowing what to do, or just not being scared to go in and experiment. I mean, what's the worst thing going to happen if it doesn't turn out the way you want to? And honestly, a pair of lashes can make a lot of looks look fabulous when they looked crazy prior to putting on the lashes. So, you know, don't be afraid to experiment. Some of the prettiest looks that I ever did were just experiments. And I was like, hey, why don't I try this? And hey, why don't I try this brush? But I just kind of wanted to show you the basic way that I started. And then as you can see, as I go back through towards the end, I'll pick up different brushes depending on what I'm trying to accomplish. And do whatever fine tuning needs to be done. So that is all I'm going to do on my eyes. I am going to put on a winged eyeliner, some mascara, and some lashes. So I'm going to go do that, and I will come back so you can see what the final look looks like. So this is what we've got for the eyeshadow. I'll be back. All right, kids, I am back. This is what it looks like with the lashes. I am using Spellbound by House of Lashes. And yeah, I used It Cosmetics Superhero Liner. Man, this feels like a lot to me, especially considering that I just got the call and my husband gets to come home. So I am so excited, and I'm free. Even though I'm not really free, I feel free because I know that I'm not gonna be, I can go outside, I can go somewhere and not feel like I'm potentially infecting someone. So praise Jesus. Okay, let me put my lip on so that we can finish up this video. I am going to use Restricted by Buxom, which is a plump line lip liner, and I'm Shook by Jeffree Star. Because I'm shook. I'm shook. I'm shook. I'm shook. I'm shook.
But can I have a little more, please? Can I have a little more? Can I have a little more, please? Can I have a little more? Have a little more. I'm hypnotized by your perfume. And never thought
All right, we need to set it. I am going to use Pixie Skin Treats Glow Mist. Gotta shake it up really well. All right, I'm gonna back out here. I am gonna go get dressed so that I can go get my husband. This has been such a crazy time. Let me make sure I don't have my lipstick on my teeth. Make sure I don't have wonky eyeliner. All right, we're looking good. I'll be back dressed and ready to go get my husband. Okay guys, I am back. I hope that this video was useful. I hope you learned some tips and tricks for how to use your brushes and what they're for. And yeah, I hope you learned something. That was the whole purpose behind this. So if you did learn something, or if you have any comments or suggestions about videos like this in the future, I would love to hear about it down in the comment section. But for now, I am gonna go get my husband. Yay! So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it so much. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up, and for you to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit that cute little notification bell so that you will know every time I upload a video. All right guys, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, be smart, and do what is recommended, so that we can come out stronger and better and okay on the other side of this thing. But until next time, take care and God bless. Bye guys.
taking my time, so I